There was a time not that long ago when getting a Western elk tag was almost the easiest part of the hunt. No spreadsheets, no point creep, no application strategy, just pick a state, grab a tag, and go hunting. Well, those days, they're basically over. Today, you need a serious annual tag application strategy and a multi-year plan if you want to chase elk in a Western state. In this episode, we're going to break down what's really going on with elk tags in the West. Because if you think OTC is still a thing, you haven't read the fine print lately. Non-resident elk tags might have officially hit the critical tipping point. Let's get to it. It's June and we're wrapping up most of the Western big game draws, but I thought this would be a great time to review the situation. I've been chasing elk in the West for a very long time. Maybe a few of you can relate back to the days when getting an elk tag was the easiest part of the equation. We really didn't put much thought into it. You had your choice of several states that offered very good over-the-counter elk tags. You picked your weapon, you picked your season, picked your state, and that was about it. No serious application strategy, no real preference point scheme, no spreadsheets or apps, just a tag, a map, and some kind of plan. That level of tag access built generations of Western DIY elk hunters, but those days, they're basically gone. Yes, it's true, hunting participation is declining across the country. In the 1980s, there was around 17 million hunters in the U.S. Today, that number has dropped closer to 15 million. The percentage of Americans who hunt has also dropped from over 7% to now under 4%, and the average hunter age keeps climbing. But while hunting is declining nationally, the Western U.S. is seeing a very different trend. Pressure is surging, and it's literally on fire, especially when it comes to public land big game tags. Over-the-counter elk opportunities, especially for non-residents, are disappearing fast. States are capping tags, converting over-the-counter units to limited entry draws, and they're even trying to eliminate non-resident tag access altogether. Elk, mule deer, and even antelope tags are more sought after today than ever, and it's being driven in large part by non-residents that are flooding into states like Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, and Colorado. These hunts have now become bucket list goals, and frankly, they should be, but the result is skyrocketing demand and over-the-counter opportunities that are drying up everywhere. In this segment, we're going to break down where things currently stand with bull elk tags across the West. These are the tags that matter most to Western big game hunters, and they're becoming harder and harder to get. Side note, a few states do offer landowner tags. They can be extremely expensive, but if you've got the money, you can bypass the draw. Non-resident elk tag access, the Western state rundown. Colorado. Let's kick this segment off and spend some time with Colorado because a lot is going on in that state and there's a lot to talk about. Colorado has been a hot topic lately on the Thrive Vodcast, and this show is just a continuation of the train wreck. The post-draw results are out, and I've been poring over the cryptic report that was just released. As you probably know by now, the 2025 non-resident over-the-counter archery elk tags are no longer valid in units west of I-25 or Game Management Unit 140. These are now draw-only units. Colorado still has true over-the-counter tags, but they are shrinking and they're shrinking fast, and they're likely to be gone in the very near future. In 2025, non-residents can still buy over-the-counter elk tags for the second and third rifle season in some very select units. However, many previously over-the-counter units are now limited entry draw only. Colorado has massive tag changes coming in 2028, and this is causing a lot of the problems. People are cashing in points like crazy, and point creep is accelerating. Colorado does not make it easy to analyze their data, and after my deep dive research, I can understand why. I personally did not draw Colorado this year, and yes, it is a sore subject. In previous years, my point total was better than 100% success, but not this year. It took 4 more points this year to draw the same tag. That is freaking crazy. If my analysis of the just released 2025 primary elk post-draw report is correct, nearly 270,000 people have accumulated points in Colorado, and 140,000 of those are non-residents. These numbers are up significantly from 2024. Non-residents now have more preference points than residents. The non-resident future is not looking so bright in Colorado. Of that 140,000, roughly 28,000 non-residents have accumulated 6 or more points. In 2025, Colorado gave out roughly 1,300 elk tags to those 28,000 6-point-plus non-residents. That means that just 4% of those non-resident hunters with 6 or more points successfully drew a tag. Once again, the math is ugly. Point creep continues to crush expectations in Colorado. I want to wrap up with one last statistical reality check. In 2025, 37 tags were issued to people with more than 30 points. Keep in mind, that is a lifetime of accumulation. A total of 549 pre-draw applicants had over 30 points. That's pretty shocking. With this level of gap, it would take 14 years just to fill the people already over the 30-point level, not to mention the 580 people that have 29 and 28 points that are coming up. The math just does not pencil out. This is a pretty clear signal. The longer you wait, the worse your odds seem to get. Point creep and cashing in points are swallowing entire tiers of tag hopefuls. Arizona, the mission almost impossible state. If you're a non-resident trying to hunt bull elk in Arizona, you're headed straight to the draw because there are no over-the-counter bull tags available. Arizona runs a true limited entry system, and it is one of the most competitive draws in the West, especially for trophy bull units. Point creep is incredibly real here, and even mediocre units often take several years to decades to draw. They do offer random draw chances. They had to do something to keep the application fee money pouring in, but the odds of success are staggering. Idaho. I spoke about this in the last Thrive episode 19, if you want to go back to check it out. New for 2025, non-resident general elk tags are no longer sold over the counter or on a first-come, first-served basis. Idaho general elk tags are now only available through a draw system, with a deadline in early December 2025. A handful of returned non-resident tags may become available on specific dates throughout the year. I've included a link to that page in the text description below. Montana. Non-residents must enter the draw to get a general elk license. No true over-the-counter bull tags are available. The draw odds in Montana are getting tougher and tougher. Montana runs a weighted lottery type system. Montana's general elk tag gives you access to several units across the state, but there are several more units that you will need to apply for the additional permits. Job one, though, is still securing that general tag. You must acquire that general tag before you can move on to the limited permit tag drawings. Nevada. Nevada offers no over-the-counter elk tags of any kind for non-residents. All bull elk tags are distributed through a very competitive draw system. If you're not sitting on max points or extremely lucky, it can take years, even decades, to break through. The trophy potential in Nevada is incredible, but this is a very long-term play, and the annual draw process is expensive. If you're new to Western hunting, I'm not sure I could recommend investing in points in Nevada. New Mexico. Probably how it all should be done. Non-residents must draw for all public land bull elk hunts. There are no over-the-counter options in New Mexico. The good news is New Mexico uses a completely random, no-point system. So every year you've got a chance, mostly a slim chance, but still a chance. The wild card in New Mexico is private land vouchers, which can be purchased outside the draw. They aren't cheap and access can vary, but they're technically over-the-counter if you can afford them. New Mexico might have the most flexible and non-resident friendly landowner system in the West. Oregon. Oregon does offer limited general entry over-the-counter elk tags for non-resident, but they are primarily for archery and some rifle hunts. However, like other states, the options have been narrowing and certain units and hunt types have moved to controlled draw-only status in recent years. These tags are mostly on the west side of the state, in the Roosevelt elk country. If you don't mind extremely thick country, wet conditions, and significant hunting pressure, Roosevelt elk over-the-counter tags might be an option. Utah. Utah does still offer some general season over-the-counter bull elk tags for any bull and spike bull units. These are available to non-residents and typically go on sale midsummer. The catch is, they sell out fast. If you get one of these tags, be prepared to work very hard for success. Trophy bull hunts in Utah are some of the hardest to draw in the country. Washington. Washington does offer very limited non-resident over-the-counter elk hunting opportunities, though the options vary based on region and elk species. In Western Washington, non-residents can purchase over-the-counter tags to hunt Roosevelt elk during the general seasons. In Eastern Washington, the over-the-counter tags are generally limited to spike-only bull hunts. Wyoming. Wyoming does not offer any over-the-counter bull tags to non-residents. You must apply through the draw. General elk licenses, which can cover multiple units, are available through both the regular and the special draw pools with a point system in place. The special draw costs significantly more and in most cases offers only slightly better draw odds. Before I wrap up this section, I want to take a moment to appreciate the logic behind spike-only elk tags. Several states have taken this approach. Apparently, the best way to build a healthy age class of bulls is to mow down the yearlings during their most vulnerable time. It makes total sense, right? Nothing says trophy management like handing out tags that specifically target the future of your herd. It's like giving a trophy to the last place team because they showed up. Agencies will argue it's about herd balance. At best, that's highly debatable and it's unsupported in many field scenarios. Let's be honest and call it what it is. It's political duct tape and it's about selling tags. Spike tags are the elk management equivalent of a participation trophy. I would love to hear your thoughts on this in the comments below. The trend across western states indicates a total move towards limited entry draw systems to manage elk populations and hunting pressure. If you want to dive deeper and get a better understanding of the western tag draw process, Brady Miller from GOHUNT put out a great video on this. Understanding Western Hunting Draw Systems, a complete explanation. I've included a link to this YouTube video in the text description below. PEAX equipment is all in on innovation, and it's just one of the things I love about working with them. Dave Brinker and Stephen Drake just dropped a great video on hunting technology, filmed inside the PEAX Cybertruck that they're giving away this year. In the episode, they dive into how technology has reshaped nearly every part of the hunting experience, from mapping and communications to filmmaking, navigation, and gear design. Drake gets out there and he has seen the evolution firsthand, and I thought he did a great job breaking it all down. When your phone dies in the backcountry, and eventually it will, a compass won't help you if you've never learned how to use one. This video is a solid reminder that technology is a tool, not a shortcut. I've included a link to the video in the description below. Remember, every $50 you spend at PEAX gets you entered to win the Project Innovate Cybertruck and a 3-year OnX Hunt Elite membership. The Western elk tag game, it's changed, and it's not going to slow down anytime soon. Over-the-counter opportunities, they're vanishing. Demand is surging, and point creep is very real, and it's escalating. If you're not paying attention to the shifts in the western states, you're going to find yourself watching everyone else chase elk on Instagram. Getting elk tags is not impossible, and there's still a path forward, but you need a strategy and a plan. This episode was about getting honest with where we're at and what it's going to take to stay in the elk game. Success is where preparation and opportunity meet. I'll see you next time.